Abigail Smith informative speech. Did you know that according to ASPCA.org, 1.6 million cats are adopted out of shelters each year? However, this number doesn't account for the 1.6 million that are left in shelters. Millions of people across the U.S. see these numbers and automatically feel a need to diminish them in any way that they can. I see these numbers and get concerned, so in order to help remedy these amounts, instead of adopting a kitten from a breeder, I went to the shelter, and that's where I found my furry best friend. Today, I'm going to tell you about my furry best friend. More importantly, the type of cat that he is. First, I'll tell you some of the physical characteristics of him. I will tell you about the diets and health of the Manx cats, and I'll share some of the history and a little bit about their personalities. So, let's get started. Let's start with their tails, or more importantly, the fact that they don't have any. Here on the screen shows a rumpy cat, or a rumpy Manx cat to be exact. These cats don't actually display having a tail. And then the other kind are a stumpy. As you can see in this picture, they only have just a little bit of a tail. This is due to a mutation in their genes at birth. As you can tell in these pictures, they also have different coat lengths. You can have long fur and short fur. Now, let's talk about their diet. According to the sprucepets.com, their cat food should include fish oils and omega-3 fatty acids to keep their thick coat healthy. They also typically prefer warm, wet foods to the chilled and wet foods. Now that we know a little bit about their food, let's talk about the health of them. Sprucepets.com also states that Manx cats are typically born with the birth defect of spina bifida. This is an open spine defect where the spinal cord is left exposed at birth. It can mean that they have a lack of bladder control, bowel control. They have weak hind legs, and it can sometimes result in the death of them just because it can hinder them being able to move around and get the necessary nutrients from their food that they would need. They also have a lower life expectancy than most cats due to this defect. Finally, let's talk about the history and their personalities. Catstime.com states they're thought to date to the 1750s from the Isle of Man off the coast of Britain. 1001 Things You Always Wanted to Know About Cats says the name Manx actually means from the Isle of Man, so that's how they got their name. They also live their lives as mousers on this island, and if you find one in the wild, then they're likely to be seen scavenging for their own foods. As for their personality, they're very dog-like, playful, and extremely intelligent. And from this video, you can see that, or you can hear that their purr is extremely loud, especially when it comes to food. So, let's recap. Today, I told you a bit about Manx cats. I told you some of their physical characteristics. I told you about their diet and health. And lastly, I told you about the history and some of their personality traits. So, if you're in the market for a nice new furry friend, head down to the nearest shelter and see if there's any of these wonderful fluff balls hanging around.